Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Tuesday, April 30th. Hope you're doing well. This message reaches you in bliss. That's a bit far-fetched, perhaps, but I sure hope so. I had a bit of a real life download today. It wasn't like, well, I'll just tell you. So I had a power outage today, random. I can probably count on not even one full hand how many times I've experienced a power outage here. There have been a couple that, you go to, you have through the night and then you wake up and your microwave is reset or something like that. But for the most part, being awake and alert and having the power, literally seeing everything kind of shut down in front of you just today, not even about an hour or so ago. And I text maintenance right away because we're on the text relationship basis. And he called me and said that it was the entire complex. So then I was real, because I thought I turned my air conditioner on today. So I'm like, well, maybe something, I checked my breaker box and nothing was out of place there. So I'm like, well, maybe something's going on in the building, which is why I text maintenance. And he's like, it's the whole complex. And I was like, what? Wow, okay. So then I go to PSE&G, and lo and behold, they were already aware. So maybe some workman hit a line or something, because I heard some drilling at some point this morning. So no big deal, right? But in that time, I just moved on with life. It was really no harm, no foul to me to wait, but I didn't know how long the wait was going to be, given it was the entire complex, Thankfully, it was no more than an hour. But when I sat down to get ready to do the message, it just downloaded to me that was some type of energetic reset. Because of course the power goes out, everything's off electrically, and then I also got a notice from Xfinity that because of the outage, the cable, they would need to, reboot the service in the area. And that didn't take too much longer than the outage, than the power coming back on. But that's what occurred to me. It was like, dang, everything shut down. But not only did it not stay down long, it also felt like a resurgence of energy. It felt like a reboot. Not just, practically speaking, but I felt a different frequency when everything came back online than before that time. So that could be significant in real time, in real life, for you, for me. As I experienced it, I felt guided to share it. That maybe there's been, the downtime could have been throughout Mercury retrograde and throughout the eclipse season, and maybe things felt shut down or that had come to a halt, or just a bit stagnant in their free flow form. And you may be already or about to be pleasantly surprised at how the resurgence of energy puts you in a position to exceed the frequency that you were on before. I mean, it would only really make sense, even if you think about it primitively, so that would be the case. But I feel like it's worth saying that to allow it to be something that you not only look forward to, that you have an expectation for, but that you may actually get excited about. All right. So however that reveals itself in your life, if it does, best wishes to you. All right, one more cut and let's get to it. I would say use it wisely. That part for sure. Wow. Okay. Okay, talk about power here with the Emperor, power personified. Okay, all right. A very protective, direct force of energy, a conductor and a conduit at the same time. Head of state is what I'm hearing. And of course, my neighbor has to turn the TV on a million, probably because she hears me talking, even though I try to be courteous, but that energy is not repaid in full. I'm like, are you deaf, girl? Do you have to have the TV on 10,000? But anyway, the Emperor here, the Sun, amazing, definitely gonna take it out. So there is some illumination, like a natural spotlight, or here's that power surge, like a natural power surge. So this is the nature of that reflection, and here is the human expression of it. The most powerful force in our galaxy as we know it, in our solar system, well, in our realm, I should say. And the Emperor being one of the most powerful ideals of position, because it doesn't have to be, actually somebody that's the head of a state or the head of a company, a CEO or anything like that. It just could be someone that is well respected, that has a great deal of influence, and that makes things shake. As I said before, like a conductor and a conduit. But what is the source? This sun energy here at the highest frequency, of course. At the highest frequency, that the conduit first would then become the conductor of this supreme life force. And that would then what? Project itself from the top down, the head down, as any organization works. Now here's the Seven of Pentacles, which speaks about long-term investments. I see something peeking up. Queen of Swords. Discernment, decision-making, objectivity, and how to sow, what to continue to invest in, what crops to continue to cultivate, and maybe sometimes knowing when it's time to burn it down or start over, or plant in another place, sow in another space. Let's see what else we got here. I would love for this to stay in a high frequency. Seven of Pentacles is always a bit questionable, because for face value is definitely about wise investments for the long run. But sometimes it can inflect a bit of disappointment or dissatisfaction with what is yielded, or maybe was yielded in a time that has been committed. So I don't know how that gets to play out yet, but with the Sun and the Emperor, I feel like that could just be somebody that's willing to put in the time and the effort eternally, however long it takes. Could be the diligence of an Emperor figure that however the job gets to be done, they're going to be devoted to it, and they have the skill set, the facility, the support, the confidence, for sure. Oh my gosh, definitely with the Sun and the Emperor, supreme confidence level here. Veering on arrogance in the face of adversity at times. Like there is no what's a no, you know what I mean? Like what is a no? What is a rejection? Like who's saying no to the Emperor, really? You know, so it could just be an expression of how committed someone is to yielding everything off of that bush for as long as it takes, with the expectation to harvest yet more, you know, on account of that diligence. So it could be that. I like the sound of that. Let's see where it goes. Oh, okay. Well, that just says, you know, ambition is taking somebody far. It's definitely yielding a more than desirable return and reward. This is the legacy, generational wealth here in the material sense, but also energetically, that your dedication, hard work, diligence has not been invested in vain. So maybe at that Seven of Pentacles, there have been times when there was room for consideration as to whether or not what I'm doing matters. Like, is this even worth it? Should I continue to invest? Should I continue to sow in blood, sweat, and tears for some, or to pour money, time, attention into whatever this focus may be? And perhaps there were points in that journey when it didn't look like it was worth it, and you would have had all reasons to kind of stop and restart, or just stop and never return, like shelve a project, shelve an idea, shelve even hope or faith for anything more than what you were yielding with that one pentacle. Like, I did all this just to get this. Is this the norm? Is this a reasonable expectation? Is this worth my energy? You know, it's like some of us have been faced with that question over and over again in many different ways. And as I spoke to the tenacity of an Emperor energy, where it's like there is no, you know, like it's only a no when I say so. When I decide that it's enough or time to stop, that's when it is so. But to push forward through that confrontation of doubt and uncertainty yields a great harvest here with the Ten of Pentacles. And it's also a game changer for the legacy that one gets to lead, because once you become the chain breaker, you know, being a figurehead of the Emperor as you are, that mindset trickles down, whether you're a CEO of a company or the patriarch of your lineage, your bloodline, or the head of your household, you know, and that could be masculine or feminine, but of course it's the Emperor for a reason, because this is the dominant force, the shot caller, the proactor, not so much the reactor, the one to take initiative to build legacy, to build wealth, and seeing that initiative is rewarded, you know, and it being a champion. Yeah, three of Cups, I love it. There's something to be celebrated here. And what was I saying? I had heard something. Oh, I was saying that that's the part I forgot to share. Maybe I didn't think I should subconsciously, but it's come up now. So I was thinking that I had this download also in light of the whole resurge and, reboot that is given rich girl vibes, rich. I actually said spoiled little rich girl, but then that evolved into trust fund baby. That's what I settled on because that just feels more, feels more round and whole than a spoiled little rich girl because ain't nothing little about me. And, spoiled is kind of like, negative connotation, but the vibration that literally whatever I ask of the universe, there's an expectation for there to be a return. And then I was thinking, like, even beyond that, a spoiled little rich girl, they have funds on reserve, they have big bank accounts, they have credit cards with high limits, they have stocks in their father or their dynasty's estate. So not only are they secure in a material sense in the present, but there's also future security in that. Man, I'm glad I didn't lose that because that is what's playing out right here. Talk about Daddy Warbucks with the Sun and the Ten of Pentacles. And here's the spoiled little rich girls right here. But again, it's more so about the energy of being a trust fund baby, knowing that poverty is not even, it doesn't even occur to you in your own personal state of being. Doesn't mean that you're cut off from the struggle of the world, or for those that you can empower and influence and impact with that wealth of abundance. But it definitely means that you can do it from a secure space that is from not a deficit, but from a surplus of energy, wealth, resources, all of that good stuff. Not given from what you don't have, but given because you got too damn much. And again, that doesn't have to be limited to money, because this could also be gifts. That the energy, maybe even this is you as the emperor that has taken the initiative to pursue the conduction of this sun source energy and to submit yourself to be a conduit of it. And that has afforded you the opportunity to evolve your bloodline, again, your household, your business, your constituents, whatever that gets to look like. This is surplus energy, again, that gets to be diffused beyond yourself, unless you're a miser, but that's not the energy I'm getting. It's definitely given Daddy Warbucks, given trust fund energy, where this is security for generations to come. Generations. And it's also redemptive for those that came before you, even you in the previous energy in that Seven of Pentacles, where you were sowing into ground that you may or may not have even known for sure was fertile. You may have not had any evidence for the reward of your sowing, or any certainty or assurance that it would yield anything at all, but yet you still remained diligent to the task. And now it's like this could be a small idea or business that now becomes a dynasty or becomes an enterprise, and this could also be, because of that faithfulness, you now unlocking, as I said, also in the energetic sense, a reboot or a resurge of energy, power, gifts, talents that were dormant, that you may not have had access to before on a certain lower frequency, and now because you can access these traits, these gifts, these talents, these abilities, this information. Now it's an open book and a new chapter for those that you serve, those that you care for, and for those that you are championing a legacy beyond. Definitely cause for celebration here. 3 of Cups. The angels are celebrating, and so is whomever gets to be on the receiving end of this burst of prosperity here. It's like, drinks on me, everybody type of energy. You go to the bar and buy the whole bar out, you know, because it's that level of excitement and achievement and accomplishment, you know, that you want to share the wealth with others. Okay, 2 of Wands. Some plan of action, maybe on how to broaden the horizon, even beyond this 10 of Pentacles, how to magnify that even, you know, because the sky is most certainly not the limit when you have the resources to expand relentlessly. You know, for some, all you needed was a leg up or a small seed, a lucky break, someone to believe in your abilities, to believe in your talent, see your vision, want to support, maybe even just a kind word of congratulations or encouragement, you know, that's all you really needed. And now it's like the world is in your hands at this point. Wow. It just, I don't even know how it could get better than the Ace of Pentacles. It's like, wow. Wow. Yeah, and of course, you know, but this could also be the relentlessness. No, I'm gonna put this over here, you know, because that's the perspective. And this, to me, is like, it's more than it being the pursuit of money. This is about the infinite seed and also the one that is blessed. So it's not just that also comes with the energy of the Emperor, as I said, like knowing what to continue to sow into, what is what's worth it, you know, what truly does yield a result, and then now having the supernatural return here where it never stops. Basically, every idea is like having the Midas touch. Like every idea, every investment, every vision, every collaboration, as long as it's in the vein of high frequency with that intention, shoot. And it doesn't mean that you couldn't take a physical loss, but that means that even if you did, it may still even lead to a revelation about either how to do something better, differently, and that would even compound upon itself in the form of wisdom to know how to move forward yet again. Like, there are no losses. There's no loss. Only gains, only wins. With the Ace of Pentacles and your arsenal and your change purse, literally your change purse, that means you could alchemize any situation as an opportunity for advancement and for affluence, because it's ordained from the Most High, or from a supreme source, that you have the right, the righteousness, and the trust, there it is, to do so. And I'm actually thankful that word came back to me, because when I was thinking like trust fund baby, it didn't just resonate to me as like somebody that necessarily has a, you know, millions stored up in an account, although it could be, and perhaps that is also something to look forward to and to be celebrated on the horizon, which may be the reason for this relentless energy here, that somebody sees your wealth or at least your potential to be affluent, and they're quite aggressively pursuing an opportunity to connect. There's that. However, what I was feeling is when I felt the energy of trust fund baby, it felt like a spiritual exchange of trust, like the divine trusts you and you trust the divine, and therefore you can trust yourself as you've been entrusted to make empowered decisions and to create this crystallization of wealth and prosperity from that source, from that resource alone. So again, here it is, literally the divine trusting you with something big, seeing you as something big, you believing that hype, because it has to be a mutual exchange here, hence the word trust. It works both ways, but you having trusted in your intuition, your fortitude to know exactly how to persist through, adversity, and the universe seeing that persistence and now knowing that it can trust you with a little, so it certainly can trust you with a lot. And now that materialization being realized in your hand, in your presence, as something tangible to further confirm that fluid exchange. And that boosts the confidence that, here it is again, it reboots your energetic force field against those doubts and those, the evidence for uncertainty in the past. It kind of dissipates that energy because now it cancels itself out into now having the evidence as to how prosperous you actually are, how powerful your force field truly is to magnetize money, opportunities, growth, wealth, good things, all good things here, and to maintain it, which is a big thing as well, not to squander it away. That's also a part of the trust, and then to magnify it. So it's just an endless well of wealth. All right, let's see what else. Wow. 8 of Wands. There's the power surge right there. Like I said, you thought it was just being turned back on to where it left off, and it's back on and resurged bigger than ever before with this 8 of Wands. This is fast action, movement, communication, where you were putting out the feelers for, it's like putting out the feelers for, let's say, practically speaking, a new job, a new position, some new adventure even, like some new way to explore and to, as a result, gain an exchange of wealth from it. And here you are with 8 opportunities, so much so that it's more so about discerning either what to commit to or what to engage, or which one to engage first. Either way is good problems to have, as I like to say. Judgment, on account of you exercising empowered judgment, supreme judgment. This is the return and reward of having a plan of action and the intention to perceive endless possibilities, even when you couldn't conceive of it, even when there was no evidence, there was no materialization. You saw the possibility and you continue to forge ahead in that frequency, and then it returned to you eightfold here. And shoot, with the 10 and the 8, that's a 10. I mean, with the 2 and the 8, that's a 10. So that means that any struggle, stagnancy, burden, blockage, pressure that you've had to shoulder up until this point is a distant memory. That's how I'm seeing that. It's like you've gotten a second chance. This is like burdens being uplifted, being called to a higher authority now. I mean, what even gets to be better than the emperor in the physical sense, but angelic essence, you know, meaning you could look something like a miracle on account of all that you've been through, and then on what you've accomplished on the other side. Definitely one of those success stories that is you know, like almost a fairy tale success story is the energy that I'm getting. That's how you may be perceived from the outside looking in. However, you know quite well that it was your diligence and your hands on the plow at that 7 of Pentacles level that has afforded all of this great fortune. It has not been a magic trick or, you know, any type of luck of the draw whatsoever. It's been ordained in spirit and in truth for you to be the beneficiary of this level of affluence for sure, but not without having proven yourself to be worthy of it first, to be trustworthy, always worthy, but to be trustworthy with it first, as it. Thank you for correcting me, because this is you being empowered. This is all of the, it's like getting hit with 8 lightning bolts, you know, and there had to be a certain cultivation of character, again, in spirit and in truth, to be able to conduct this level of energy. Everybody is not able to, that everyone's not operating on a voltage of vitality to be a conduit of this force, and then to know how to disseminate it, to conduct it responsibly. Some people get to this position of power and authority and wealth and lose their everlasting mind. We see it every day. You know, they don't share. They forget about where they come from in a negative sense, because nobody says you got to harbor on any misfortune, but certainly it's a part of the fabric of the fortune that you have attained. So from that space of knowing what it feels like and what it looks like to not have, to be without, you operate in a frequency of grace for those that you are assigned to give to. However that gets to look is not my place to say, but it doesn't look like a miser, a hoarder, someone that is arrogant and caught up in the ego of their material possessions. It also doesn't look like someone that is possessed by their material possessions, or so hell-bent on keeping a dollar and making a dollar that's all that matters. They forget about the source. You know, they forget about what that material measurement of frequency is really meant to do, like how it's to be transmuted as something far more advanced and sustainable and empowering than just money or riches itself. That's fleeting, you know, like that could be here today, gone tomorrow, but how does that energy get transmuted into something that can be eternal, something that can truly make an impact for the long term? That's somebody that's in the wise mind state here, that's allowed themselves to be ascended beyond the fray of the material world, not to dispose of it, because it all matters, it's all conjunctive, but to know exactly how to synergize all forces on one accord. Three of Wands. Yeah, that's relentless expectations for more. Like you have like I said before, it's like it changed your perspective of who you are, what you're capable of, what you're worthy of, blase, blase. Then that influence crystallized, materialized into kinetic form, and it's like it becomes what you have an expectation to receive in every regard now. Like that's the standard now to win, to, like I said, to be productive, to be affluent, to be powerful, to be empowering, to be empowered. You know, it's always when you go to turn on that light, as long as you paid your bill, you know, you pay homage to the source, you expect for there to be illumination. That's the energy here. Nine of Swords, like, I don't know what that's about, because that's the very opposite of where we are in this regard, with the expectation of vitality, you know, for there to be an eternal electrical current. That cancels out this energy of anxiety. Immediately cancels it out. That might have been the old frequency, to be afraid because maybe you didn't pay the bill, or whether or not any day now the lights could go off, or because you know, don't have the resources to sustain yourself on a foundational level of security, that you might be stuck in some dead end resurgence of sewing over and over again, like a hamster wheel. Like, this is somebody that has sleepless nights, but also loathes the morning. You know, consider having to get up and go somewhere you don't want to be every day, or waking up to somebody you don't want to be with. You know, it's like that energy doesn't have a place to rest here. Not if you're really in this frequency. And if you're here, then that's how you know you might be in the danger zone of veering into a loss, an impending loss, or you may be moving away from the realization of this frequency if you're still up wondering where your next meal is coming from, or whether, like, consider, like, imagine a trust fund baby worrying about, I mean, literally, not somebody that squandered it away, but somebody that knows they got millions in the bank, knows that they have stocks in the green, you know, knows that they have great stake in a thriving enterprise and a thriving company. Imagine them being up at night worried about what? Not that money is everything, but we're considering that all other bases are covered in the spiritual sense, and you have material stability, security, independence. What would there possibly be to worry about? So this could be a check-in point, that if you have everything that you could consider yourself to want and need, and you're still not happy, then that's the point of contemplation on where is the void, and what am I missing, and how can I fill it or remedy that void to some point of healing. Or if you are still thoughtful about when and how this gets to be, that's also not the proper point of projection, because it's sending a signal into the universal sphere that you are not already in the presence of what it is that you are manifesting. So there's the energy of lack that's being sent out to that supreme satellite, and unfortunately that's what will be returned. So yeah, it's like with the Three of Wands, it's whatever expectation you project coming back to you. And for some, whatever expectations you've already projected finally piercing into the realm in a material sense. So if you're still wondering where it is in a physical form, be not dismayed. Don't worry. It'll show up at exactly the moment when you release it as already a presence in your life and you already present with it. And also, you know, stay tapped into how you can continue to cultivate that reality so that you're so focused on that ambition. Back to that Seven of Pentacles, you're so busy sowing for relentlessly sowing with the certainty of a harvest to ensue, that you don't have time to give to this energy field. You don't have time to be up sleepless at night or to be worried about your day in the morning. What? No. No, ma'am. No, sir. What you seek is already here. It's already upon you, among you. That's the King of Swords. Being objective with truth. What's that? Oh, jeez. Knowing their position. Yeah, going within. At any point in time when you do get discouraged, you know where your source, you know where you can refuel. Straight on the inside from that inner light. But this is also speaking about the level of mastery that you've come to with your manifestations, to be in this spirit of relentless expectation. Like I kind of said, like the trust fund energy, where it's like, it's as good as done. If I can perceive it to be so, it's as good as done. And primitively, practically, what, a new car, a new home, you know, capital to invest in this venture, and the launch of this business, the release of this project, the fanfare or favorable response for whatever my maybe artistic expression may be with all this wand energy. It certainly could be that, you know, you releasing your personal passions and ambitions, turning it into prosperity, turning it into there's a word that I'm missing right now. I can't think of it, but the point is that you've reached a certain level of a master manifester, where it's like you could damn near just think it and it be so. If not already, that's where you're headed. So it definitely puts a different spin on that Nine of Swords, to be even more conscious of what you are investing your mental space into. Back, and also to the the King of Swords. How are you investing that intellectual force of yours, that sword of what are you allowing to be true for yourself? Because it most certainly will be, is the point. You've become such a master that, good or bad or indifferent, I suppose, you have earned the power to let it be so. So be careful. Yeah, world card. I know that's right. It's a brave new world for some. It really is. For some, it looks terrifying. For those that want to keep this energy from evolving and materializing, people that are empowered to have great expectations, to win without resistance, to build generational wealth fairly, honorably, to maintain it. You know, not just talking about quick little windfalls, got your taxes, and then you just came up for a couple months. This is like people that are able to sustain wealth at a very high frequency and have the capacity, the willingness, the heart, the drive to expound that energy beyond themselves, to make sure that it doesn't just die with them, literally, to make sure that wealth doesn't just die with you. And then that's the resurgence. Because a lot of generations, it could be like new money energy, where people are coming into wealth, maybe that's been owed to them or that's been withheld from generations past, but now is being reclaimed or redistributed properly. But either way, it's new to you. You know what I mean? Like, it's new money, but that's the resurgence that I was feeling with the power outage, where it was out for a time, but then when it came back, it was like all new. So some legacies getting a jump start ahead of what has been a very dampered and hampered past, particularly by way of prosperity. And now it's like resurging a new history, you know, like it's how can I say that? It's like, you know, with old money, it just keeps getting passed down over and over again. And it you know, generations thrive for lifetimes, you know, on account of what somebody did way back when, and it's been preserved and conserved and magnified in that regard. Energies that didn't have that chance before, or it was interfered with or whatever, but however it gets to be, it's like new opportunities for generations to now, new dynasties are going to be springing up, new legacies, new like wealthy, what's the word when you talk about like wealthy families? Damn, I don't even know. I know, but I can't think of it right now. But it's just, it's going to be like new, like say the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the Kennedys, you know, in certain regards, like those names that we know that have, what is Chase? Is that Rothschild? What are the Chase banks? It's something new that's starting here, and it's not just, it's not fleeting either. It's something that's it's eternal. It's long lasting. It's going to have that longevity behind it, as such as the names that that we know of, but it's new money, and it's surprising because it may be by way of energies that were never slated to be prominent in that regard. Whether you didn't have the background, you didn't have the legacy, the history, the support, the foundation, it's like there's really no direct point of reference that anyone can point to in this lifetime, at least, as to why energies are springing forth in this prosperous way, but it's happening. Rockefeller, that was another name. And those that, like I said, some are going to be elated and some are going to be devastated, but all they're going to be able to do is just watch history unfold. There's nothing that can be done to stop it at this point. This is a matriarch, wealthy matriarch at that. Can't be stopped. Can't be stopped, can't be blocked, because it's not just coming. And a lot of those, when you really think about it, like those historically wealthy families and dynasties were on account of, they didn't always make their money in a good way. You know, they cut a lot of corners or took risks that disempowered others or disenfranchised others, or just there were unfair circumstances with how the wealth was accumulated and acquired, with most of them. Even if they started with the best of intentions, usually there was some haziness in the middle, if you really consider it. Yeah, but that's not, that pressure is over, because exactly. And perhaps that's the transfer of the energy now, as it is with the transfer of wealth, that may be the reason why some might be devastated, rightfully so, because it's a different level of pressure now to maintain a frequency and a fortune by those same measures and means. It would cause some sleepless nights, you know, some anxiety and eagerness, but like I said, it's like what's that world card again? You either, it's trying to come out, I'm gonna let you out, all right, fine. You know, it's a new world. It's a brave new world. And for those that want to continue to operate in that old regime, it'll be virtually impossible to get very far, because the energy that persists now is going to be so overpowering and so much of a dominant force. It's like, if you consider, like, if all the companies that have acquired and maintained this like exuberant wealth in the country really did a fraction of what we would call humanitarian work, not just what they do to write off on their taxes or to look good or feel good about about themselves, but really, like, fairly giving back almost as much as they take or receive, there wouldn't be much imbalance in the world. So now consider a whole new regime of rich mofos that know how to make it, know how to maintain it, know how to magnify it, and they're willing to reverse that energetic force of greed and, maybe even revolutionize capitalism to some degree to completely create a different landscape for creation, even the playing field. That's a brave new world that none of us has ever seen. And for those that are on that old regime, it's terrifying, because you won't be able to maneuver and manipulate the same way, lesser powers and lower frequencies, because now everybody's elevating, everybody's moving up. So what you going to do? You're either going to change, which is a hell of a transition, especially from that Seven of Pentacles energy, where you've been sewing a certain way for all of your life. This is how you've always done it from generations past, and you didn't really predict or project there would be any difference. That's a hell of a shift to make. Not all of those dynasties are going to be saved in the transition. Some may be broken down to rebuild or to reconstruct, their business model, so to speak, to fit into the scope of where the world is now. And the smart ones already have begun to do that, but most of them haven't begun to do it from an energetic and spiritual standpoint. Some may be able to forecast the trends and the shifts that lie ahead even better than us that are experiencing them, but because of that old mentality and the burden of wanting to really make more than, to really take more than what is due to you is what it comes down to. It creates a conflict energetically to really break out of that mold to see anything else. You know, it's like when you're used to raking it in, even to be faced with the with the necessity for survival's sake to change your ways, it feels hard to do. So many, as I said, have shifted and pivoted for the purposes of a profit, and to salvage whatever profit they can. Practically speaking, more online shopping and things like that, where a lot of the brick and mortar stores, on account of greed and the inflection of people just taking what they feel, they need, I see that as almost a balancing act from corporate greed, that these big companies are now experiencing what it feels like to be stolen from, to be disenfranchised, hiking up prices more and more and more, regardless of the production found baseline, just to get as much as you can, because people are going to buy what they need, and now they're just going to take it because they don't have what they need, so they're going to take it. And now, of course, it's a different blemish on the community, for those that want to go to CVS or Walmart or Target, but the one in their neighborhood is closed down. But it's just the way the pendulum is swinging to balance out what has been a very disproportionate distribution of wealth and resources. And so, like I said, they're making the moves to figure out how to remedy that, to save their bottom line, but they're not really seeing that the investment still is in the people. That's always going to be where your greatest investment is to be made, in the community, in the people. So why not actually peel back, figure out how you can enhance the community that you serve, maybe with the community center, or more jobs, or more, like, it may depreciate your bottom line, but it will sustain your longevity and your placement in communities that have really served you for all of this time. Corporate greed mindsets don't think like that. They haven't up until this point. It used to be about serving, back in the day. But now perhaps that's where the shift is going back to, maybe by force, by circumstance, but it'll still be for the greatest good of all, no doubt. Or they will die and new organizations and corporations will be born in that wake. Period. Simple. There's that that was the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Wands is having high standards and healthy boundaries. I should do this. Against competition, yeah, because this is exactly what I'm talking about, like corporate competition. Those that have learned wisely, truly, to live above the fray of this will be the ones that survive. Point blank, period. I ain't gonna beat it down no more. Those that are still getting caught up in this, like, how do we beat our competitors here? How do we make more here? How do we, advance our profit share here without any concern of the people that are being served or underserved? They will eventually fall short to this resistance, to their own resistance. Couple more and then I'm out. One more. Bam. Yeah. Power to the people, because the people are the power. That's the promise of the divine at this point. So you either get in line or I don't know. get in line or get offline, be completely, like I said, power out, lights off, business closed. Knight of Pentacles, and some are a little bit too late to the party. Too much damage has been done. These are the new dynasties, the new legacies. I wish I could think of the word. I'm gonna be so mad when I'm done this. of the word I'm looking for. Oh, man. Anyway, maybe it'll come up for the title. But the Ten of Cups, these are those energies now that are here to stay. It's been a long time coming to get here, but trust me, when these frequencies of new money that have cultivated it from a spiritual space first get that taste, it's never going to be lost. Like I said, it'll be a continuous expectation for expansion, for growth, because of where it was cultivated from, and for the passion and spirit behind its persistence. It's not just about money. Maybe that's the point, why it needed to be this way. Even if there were certain things that were withheld from legacies and from certain lineages and things like that, as inheritances or property or whatever, maybe that's what the outage needed to be, to cultivate this spirit here, so that we didn't all continuously be in this pitfall of greed and capitalism and more, gimme. That there needed to be a cultivation of character here. It's kind of like the difference between a spoiled little rich girl, or maybe even a trust fund baby, and someone that had to work for what they achieved and what they acquired. What I'm feeling is that the frequency that's transferred is that of the confidence and security and independence of a trust fund baby or a spoiled little rich girl, but it's not the frequency of it. That's not the come from. So that's not the fuel of it. It's the difference between being born with a silver spoon in your mouth and knowing no different, and someone that may have had to work through college or work hard to support their family, maybe doing jobs that they didn't necessarily like, getting up at ungodly times of the morning or at night to go provide for your family, maybe not having, because of where you grew up or your surroundings, not having the best resources, not having the best opportunities, but still succeeding despite all of that, in spite of it all. That's the difference in the frequency here with the Ten of Cups. Like, what happiness really tastes like when you get a sip of it, because it's not just regular shit. It's not just, run of the mill. It's like you can appreciate it that much more. You treat it more carefully, more delicately, more responsibly, hopefully, once you've hopefully having filtered out all of the poverty mindset, of course, but you have a different consciousness of your capacity to create in that regard, knowing that you have an infinite resource to do so. And like I said, it might have been a long time coming, but it's here. It's here. Yep. And here's the community affluence on account of it. Now everybody gets to eat. And this is exactly my point. It's not, well, I'm going to keep this for me. This is, how can I share? How can I support? How can I grow? How can I expand? How can I impact the community with all that I've been blessed with? That's the frequency that's sustainable here. Because it's been obtainable, even those that have been willing to share more with less, now they have more to share with more. Wow, this was good. Thank you, God. I love this message. Me and these darn cards, that's still probably gonna be crooked, but can't hurt me for trying, can't hate me for trying. Yes, exactly. King of Wands, ambition ambitious, passionate, driven by their passion, relentless, protective also. Not too far removed, as with the Empress, like you're kind of like in a high seat, but not too far removed from the people to know exactly what the needs of your court are, to see the voids and be beyond ambitious to fulfill it, courageous, confident to take on that charge as if, as if your name is on it, to almost wear it as, a duty or a service, like a reasonable service for all that you have acquired and attained and accomplished, that it's only right that you return the favor. Oh my goodness. Wow. Empowered. This is the energy that I was talking about. It went off as one thing, because we've been kings and queens now. Don't get it messed up. Many of us that are just coming into our inheritances in spirit and in truth have been of royal bloodlines, royal lineage, dynasties, legacies of prestige, honorable, influential, affluent, and even if it's just in the spiritual and energetic sense, like I said, that matters most, especially now more than ever before. So we've been rightful heirs to the throne. Some of us may have gone offline on account of interference or on account of destructive forces, obstinance, you know how it's been. Projections that have been less than productive, energies that have taken up space and, been the misers and the hoarders to kind of corrupt what could have been even corrupt capitalism and make it more impure than what it could have been, what it should be. Taking advantage of capitalism to their own advantage and their advantage alone. Here's the transfer of power and of wealth right here. There's the wealth, here's the power, but it was already assigned to certain individuals to assume. It's just that certain things needed to be cultivated and curated before this transfer got to be in the physical form. And like I said, it's like some of those dynasties were eclipsed into poverty and lack and dysfunction, even disarray to some degree. But it was just to learn the true value of the power of prosperity from a supreme source, and with it being purified and set apart from it being tainted otherwise from lesser frequencies. Now it's emerging in not just the frequency that it always was ordained to be, but even better. Even better. That means that, practically speaking, that passion that you may have laid to rest, that vision, that business, the inspiration, the thing that excited you to create, whatever it may be, could be a talent, could be a gift, could be an idea, whatever, back to that energy of creative arousal, the thing that made you excited to live, that you may have put on the back burner, or you may suppress, or, have just forgotten about on account of survival and doing what you need to do to get through another day. Not only is it now available to you, almost just as you left it, at least just as powerful and potent as you left it, it's been supercharged to the point where it almost, it's like this wand in the King of Wands hand takes on a life and a frequency all its own. It's like, it's not so much about you working anymore. With the King of Wands, it's like the projection of power that goes, it's like a little goes a long way now. Whereas you had to really, really be committed, and that kinetic energy, you almost like burnt yourself out to see any results. Back to that Seven of Pentacles, to the point where it's like, is this even working? Does this even matter? Will this have a return? Now it's like I said, like you literally think it and it shall be. All from this place of entitlement, of trust, knowing that it already is so, because it's coming from your personal projection that's been purified, your passion that is pure and objective, is purposeful. Again, the universe has to match that energy. It always will. It may seem like it's taken a long time, and most of that was on account of external interference. But once it pierces through, like I said with the Eight of Wands, you it's like, man, it's like literally juggling eight magic wands in the air, and every time you touch one, something else appears, something else manifests, something else comes to life. A new opportunity materializes to the point where it's just a matter of choosing which one to engage first and foremost. And maybe you're a magician in a way that you can juggle more than one and many. I hope so, because it seems to me that you may just need to be, or that's the purpose of manifesting dynasty and these foundations of a support system that's pure and cleansed and healthy, because you're going to need all hands on deck to manage the prosperity that is materializing right now before your eyes, whether you recognize it or not. So congratulations, man. I'm loving this frequency of energy for the message. Like I like to be here. I love to be here. So I hope that you found something empowering about the message today. I can never get enough of this, even if it sounded like yesterday. You know, to me, you can never be encouraged enough in the world that we live in today, where as soon as you turn this off, there's about 20 different other negative things that your energetic force field is going to encounter and perhaps even be impacted by. So one good message a day is nearly not enough to just continue to keep you on that trajectory of power and passion and creativity. Can never be enough. So thank you, Spirit, for the message. I receive it. I hope you find something to receive as well. Take it and run with it, literally, with all this wand energy. And thank you, as always, for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.